The morning mist clung to Arkandale Hollow like a silken veil, curling and drifting over the river in ghostly spirals. Eleanor Vale stood barefoot at the water's edge, her fingers trailing through the silver currents, sending ripples dancing like shards of sunlight. Paper boats she had folded herself floated downstream, each carrying a sprig of rosemary or sage, charms for the sick, the forgotten, and the quietly desperate. From the old bridge across the river, Luke appeared, eyes catching the morning sun in a way that made Eleanor's heart skip. He smiled, shy and wide, and she felt a warmth bloom in her chest that no winter chill could touch. They had met by chance, as if fate had nudged them together. A tumble of books in the marketplace, hands brushing over the same old ledger, laughter echoing in alleys lined with cobblestones. Each meeting wove them closer. Secret smiles over morning tea, stolen glances beneath the willow, conversations that lasted until dusk. Every heartbeat between them became a language only they understood. "I don't think I could ever be without you," Eleanor whispered one evening, the river's hush holding her words like a sacred secret. "Nor I without you," Luke answered, holding her hand tighter, eyes glimmering with certainty. "We were made for this." Their love was fragile yet unyielding, tender yet fierce, a bond that burned brighter than any star. Neither knew fear in each other's presence, only the overwhelming certainty that life without the other was unthinkable. But in the distance, where the mist thickened and shadows lingered longer than they should, a presence stirred. Pale and silent, drawn by the fire of their love, the shadow waited. It had been watching, dreaming, longing, and it had begun to move. The sun had barely kissed the horizon when Eleanor and Luke wandered through the marketplace, laughing over a shared memory, hands brushing more often than coincidence would allow. The world felt theirs alone. Yet, between the stalls of herbs and worn books, something shifted. A subtle ripple in the air, a chill that did not belong to the morning breeze. She first appeared in Eleanor's dreams, a fleeting silhouette of silver hair and eyes like molten twilight, her voice a whisper that carried both promise and warning. Luke would wake, trembling, as though someone had touched his soul. At first, he dismissed it, thinking it the residue of imagination. But the shadow followed him into the waking world. In the library, among the stacked tomes of forgotten lore, he would sense a presence, a figure vanishing when he turned. On the riverbank, when Eleanor was elsewhere, a woman with a delicate smile would appear and vanish like mist, always just out of reach, yet always watching. She called herself different names at first, speaking in tones that mimicked Eleanor's laughter, her warmth, her tender ways. Luke felt drawn to her, inexplicably comforted, unsettled, yet enchanted. Even his heart, loyal to Eleanor, wavered, confused by the beauty and mystery of this other presence. Behind the allure, the truth was far older, far darker. Seraphine, the witch, had been bound by a curse centuries ago. She could love only one, her one true love, and if she failed to claim him, her life and power would fade. She had dreamt of Luke in her shadowed world long before he existed in this one, seeing him in visions and fragile dreams, feeling her heart stir in ways she had tried and failed to deny. Every encounter in the waking world was deliberate, yet delicate. A brush of hair in the study, a fleeting smile in the market, whispers that reached his ears when no one else was near. She was careful, almost invisible, testing her influence, drawing him slowly toward her, all the while knowing the strength of his bond with Eleanor. Yet, even as she lingered, the shadow of her obsession stretched further into reality. For every moment she tempted, she risked the unraveling of the delicate thread that tied her to life itself. And somewhere, in the quiet heart of the world, the magic of love she could never truly claim began to whisper of sacrifice and loss. The nights had grown longer, heavier. Mist coiled like silver snakes through the streets of Arkandale Hollow, and the air smelled faintly of rain and something older, almost metallic. Eleanor noticed Luke drifting into quiet reveries, his gaze distant, fingers brushing a pendant or a book, as if searching for a voice only he could hear. One evening, beneath the shadow of the old willow by the river, the witch revealed herself. Not as a terrifying specter, but in a form so hauntingly beautiful that it almost hurt to look. Her silver hair caught the moonlight, cascading like liquid starlight, and her eyes glimmered with the depth of centuries. "I am Seraphine," she whispered, her voice soft and musical, yet carrying the weight of inevitability. "I have known you long before this life, Luke, and I have loved you in ways this world cannot hold." Luke's heart fluttered in a confusing rhythm. He knew Eleanor loved him, knew his heart belonged to her, yet the beauty, the power, the melancholy pull of Seraphine tugged at something buried deep within. Eleanor, standing behind him, felt a chill run down her spine. The air seemed thicker, almost alive, pressing her heart with unspoken fear. She sensed the subtle magic, the gentle lure, the whispered promises, and her pulse quickened. She would not lose him. Seraphine spoke again, stepping closer, each movement deliberate, graceful. "I have tried to let him go. I have tried to honor the laws of this world, the desires of the heart, but I cannot forget I cannot. And soon, Luke, you will know why my love cannot be contained." The night itself seemed to hold its breath. Stars flickered as if uncertain. The river paused in its flow, and even the firefly's pale violet glow dimmed at the intensity of the moment. Luke turned to Eleanor, torn between the warmth of their shared history and the magnetic pull of Seraphine's tragic beauty. Eleanor's voice broke the spell, trembling but firm. "Luke, this isn't right. Whatever power she holds, whatever dreams she has, it can't take what we have. Our love isn't hers to touch." Seraphine's smile was bittersweet, almost mournful. "Ah, Eleanor, it was never meant to be easy. Love is a flame that can warm, but also consume. Watch closely, for what comes next will test the hearts of all three of us." And with that, the shadows deepened, swirling around Seraphine like liquid smoke. Luke felt himself pulled toward her, against his will, yet against something older, something mystical, a bond that transcended life, time, and even death. The river ran like liquid glass under the moonlight, reflecting every trembling shadow and flickering star. Eleanor's heart pounded as she followed Luke through the misted paths of Arkandale Hollow, her fingers clutching the pendant he had given her, a small talisman of their love, fragile yet unbreakable. Luke walked ahead, eyes half lost in Seraphine's ethereal glow. Her form shimmered in the distance, silver hair cascading like a waterfall of moonlight. Eyes locked on him with an intensity that made the air shiver. Each step he took toward her seemed almost against his will, as if an invisible tether pulled him. Eleanor's voice broke through the mist, trembling but resolute. "Luke, don't let her take you. Not like this." Seraphine's smile was both mournful and fierce. "He is drawn to me, Eleanor, as he always was. Not because I am cruel, but because love is not bound by mere choice. It whispers, it aches, it demands." Luke stopped, torn, his fingers brushing both the pendant and the air where Seraphine's hand seemed to reach for him. His heart wavered, the pull of centuries-old longing against the warmth and certainty of his life with Eleanor. The witch's power shimmered in subtle waves, wrapping around the night like smoke. She spoke softly, almost reverently, her voice carrying the weight of ancient sorrow. "I have dreamt of you, Luke, long before this life. I have known your soul, seen its shape in the void I tried to let go, but the heart is stubborn. And yet..." Her eyes flickered with the first hint of mortal fear. The curse that had sustained her through centuries began to whisper, reminding her that every act against destiny exacts its price. The longer she held him in the orbit of her magic, the more fragile her existence became. Eleanor stepped closer, her voice stronger now, trembling with the fire of true love. "Luke, our bond, our life, our choice, it's ours, not hers, not anyone else's. Come back to me." For the first time, the pull faltered. Seraphine's shimmering power flickered, smoke curling unnaturally from her fingers. Her immortal facade cracked, revealing the truth. Her life and magic were tethered to her choice, and this love she could never truly claim was slowly breaking her. Luke's eyes met Eleanor's. Time seemed to pause. Heartbeats echoed through the hollow, through the mist, through the very fabric of the night. He stepped forward, leaving the silver glow behind, drawn back to the warmth and certainty of the love he had always known. Seraphine fell to one knee, pale as moonlight, her powers dimming with each breath. I release you," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Go, both of you. Live, love, for I must fade." The shadows curled around her, soft as a sigh. Fireflies danced through the mist, pale violet light trembling. And then, as the first rays of dawn touched the river, Seraphine's form began to dissolve, fading into the air she had so long haunted. The first golden rays of dawn spilled over Arkandale Hollow, casting the river in molten light. Eleanor stood at the water's edge, her fingers brushing the silver currents, now calm and steady. Beside her, Luke's hand found hers once more, firm, warm, and reassuring, the rhythm of their hearts in perfect harmony. The world felt whole again, yet beneath its beauty lingered the memory of sacrifice Seraphine's presence, though gone, left a delicate trace in the air, a faint shimmer of silver, a whisper in the wind, as if the hollow itself remembered the love she had given, and the life she had relinquished. Eleanor looked into Luke's eyes, feeling the weight of everything they had endured. "We survived together," she whispered, her voice trembling with gratitude and awe. Luke pressed a gentle kiss to her forehead. "Yes, because our love was stronger than even the darkest magic." Far across the river, where the mist still lingered like smoke from hidden fires, a single pale violet firefly hovered, then vanished into the sunlight. It was the last trace of Seraphine, her life's final echo, a delicate mark of the sacrifice she had made. And though her form was gone, the story of her love and loss remained in the shadows. Travelers would speak in hushed tones of a silver-haired witch whose heart had been bound by a curse older than time. Some said she walked the edges of the world still, guiding lost souls with quiet magic. Others said she had found peace at last, her heart released in the knowledge that true love, even if not hers, had survived. Eleanor and Luke turned away from the riverbank, hands entwined, hearts open. Their love, tested and tempered in the fires of magic, was stronger than ever. The world seemed richer, deeper, alive with possibility. And somewhere, in the softest corners of the morning light, Seraphine's final blessing whispered, "Love is the flame that endures, even when the hand that held it is gone." The morning sun painted Arkandale Hollow in soft gold, turning the mist into liquid light. Eleanor and Luke stood hand in hand, the river flowing quietly beside them, each ripple a memory of what had been endured and survived. Their love, tempered by trials and sacrifice, now glimmered like steel kissed by fire, unbreakable, eternal. Yet, somewhere beyond the trees, in the hidden folds of the world, a faint shimmer lingered, the last echo of Seraphine. Her silver hair caught the breeze for a moment, a pale violet light drifting through the mist like a sigh. Though her life had ended, her magic whispered softly, "True love is a flame that endures, even when the hand that held it fades." Travelers would speak of the hollow in hushed tones, of a silver-haired witch who gave everything for love, of a girl and boy whose bond had survived the impossible, and of the delicate magic that lingered in the air, unseen but felt. Eleanor and Luke turned from the riverbank, hearts open, knowing their story was only beginning. And somewhere, beyond the edges of sight and time, Seraphine's sacrifice remained a guiding light, a reminder that love can conquer even the cruelest curses, and that some flames burn forever, beyond life, beyond death, beyond memory. And so, the story of Eleanor, Luke, and Seraphine comes to a close, yet its echoes linger in the shadows, in the mist, in the quiet spaces between heartbeats love endured. Sacrifice was made, and magic, well, magic never truly dies. If this tale stirred something in your soul, if you felt the pull of forbidden magic, the fire of love, or the ache of sacrifice, carry it forward, share it. Let it travel farther than the hollow itself. Because in the world beyond the ordinary, every choice has weight, every heart has power, and some stories burn brighter than the stars. Like, share, and subscribe, so the flame of this legend never fades and the magic lives on for all who dare to walk the crossroads.